call it breaking story, where we understand that a coalition of opposition heavyweights, including Atiku, Abubakar, El-rufai, Rotimi Amaechi, and of course Umar Ado, have applied to INEC to register a platform, or called the All Democratic Alliance, also known as the ADA, as a political party. The group says the move aims to offer Nigerians an alternative platform ahead of the 2027 elections amidst growing discontent and political realignment. Well, I still have Zari Yusuf, joining on this conversation, and also joining is Mr. Sam Amadi. Mr. Sam Amadi is the director of the Abuja School of Political Thought. Zari Yusuf is a former national coordinator of the Middle Belt Patriots. Let me start with you, Mr. Sam Amadi. Thank you for joining the conversation. What do you make of this? A new platform, soon to be a political party, called the All Democratic Alliance. And what we understand is that part of the pushers of this is the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who of course has been at multiple times the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Nigerian, El-rufai, Rotimi Amaechi, and a host of others. What do you make of this development, sir?
I think, well, thank you for having me, even though I'm interested, but I think it's really expected, not a surprise. We're hearing about plans to either it's like a political party, merge, sweep into existing one like SDP and the other party agency. So this is expected. And again, the news is that the coalition sponsors are created together they have put up a committee chaired by Amaechi, and the committee has really recommended now that action be taken. So this is expected. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise at all. So, but again, the question is, what would INEC do regarding this new political party? Will they decide to, of course, the law is very clear. If they meet the conditions for registration, they should be registered. INEC had, based on the amendment to the Electoral Act, did register parties that didn't meet up the criteria, and those parties went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said that it has the power to register and register. So now that this new application presumably meets the requirement, I mean, we would expect that this level of Nigerians will be able to put together very basic requirement for registration, presence in states in Nigeria, headquarter office, not being religious or ethnic-based parties, manifesto, constitution. So essentially, I believe that all that is required is in. It's not for INEC to, go through the due process and register this party on time for election. We don't know whether, end of the day, the coalition will fully leave the SDP and the ADC and now flow into this new party if registered, or whether some of the opposition party leaders will stay on their own, whether it's Labour Party or other party, while a few stay on the party. So a time, for now, uncertainty as to whether this will be the main and the only opposition of all these opposition parties, or we're going to have some people get into this new one and some people remain in the old parties.
All right. Thank you for that, Sam Amadi. Let me bring it to Yusuf. Yusuf, I mean, I noticed that while I was doing the intro, you were sort of laughing. So I'm going to just ask you now, as a young Nigerian, right? I mean, does this move feel like, a desperate rescue for the soul of Nigeria, or just another political move to fulfill or achieve personal political ambitions? Yeah.
Well, the word desperate is what I would underline in your statement, but rescuing Nigeria is not anywhere in the equation, regardless of the names there, whether El-rufai, whether Atiku, whether Amaechi. Reason being, they have a track record. They have a track record, and the track record is they are career formers of coalition to wrestle power out of a sitting government. And basically, they don't do anything with it. They were there when the APC was battered. And for more than a decade, we have seen what the APC is to Nigerians. There is hardly any one of them that has not left a previous political party because he is disgruntled, because the piece of the pie is not actually what he expects. I am most certain that for a man like Nasir El-rufai, if he was embraced, if he was at the corner of the table of this administration, he's not going anywhere. And I would say to you, even if a bag of rice sold for 500,000 naira and a liter of fuel sold for 5,000 naira, he will tell you every good thing about the regime. So frankly speaking, when you see those names, you wonder, what coalition are you bringing? I mean, I look at the vehemence with which they fought against the PDP. I look at the vehemence with which they struggled to bring in Buhari. I look at the illogicalities with which they tried to intellectualize Buhari's failure for 8 years. And I looked at how vehement they wanted to bring in this particular regime, especially the like of El-rufai, how he gloated, the kinds of comments he made, the disrespect that some of the northern elders suffered because of this campaign. And then all of a sudden, because you didn't get what you want, you are forming a coalition. So frankly, it's funny, and I think it's pathetic. I feel sorry for us Nigerians, because these so-called elites, frankly, even though they are not, as far as whatever that word elite means, but what they do is the same group that brings in the failure, you know, the failed government. Once they are getting what they want, they pull out of it and they tell the people, we are trying to form a coalition to remove them in power. So it's the same thing that is just recycling itself. Just that a group of people taking turns exploiting something, and then somebody takes too long or takes too much, and then the next group will tell the villagers, let's gather and sack them, and then they continue doing the same thing the previous people have been doing. So yes, like Professor Sam Amadi said, it's not a surprise. It's expected that they will do so. There is none of them that is not desperate. That basically is it. And I think, unfortunately, their desperation for power takes priority over, their patriotism for Nigeria. That's unfortunate, and they have proven.
Just quickly, let me put it to you directly. Looking at this, will I call it platform or movement, if at all, or association, because it's not yet registered as a political party, should it be registered by INEC? How much of an impact do you think this coalition would have ahead of 2027 election? Should the APC have sleepless nights, considering the caliber of people that make this up? I even, saw someone describing it as some sort of northern coalition, given the, political heavyweights that make it up. Should the APC, have sleepless nights as a result of this? Is this formidable?
Well, I think it's formidable. Look, politics in Nigeria, all over the world, is about personalities and how they come together, and the level of coalition that you build at any time. It's true that, my friend Yusuf Zakari is right about maybe the performance, ethical qualities of these originators. The fact is, politics is about, the people they want to take power from are not better than them in profile. So it's unfortunate that the Ghanaian author, Ayababa, says, the beautiful ones are not yet born. Those who have the pedigree, the Atiku bearing, perhaps to save Nigeria are not coming forth. So, having said that, I think it's formidable. I think AP should be worried for 3 reasons. One, APC is not doing very well. If elections are free and fair, I will put my hot money that they will lose by. Because if they're not delivering, whether it's by a force, because things are beyond their control, more hunger across the country, look at energy costs, look at devaluation currency, look at number of people who are poor, who are out of school, who are out of job, who are out of medical. So basically,
Dr. Sam, I'm sorry, Dr. Abadi, I'm sorry, but we really need to go. I just want to relay what you said. You said if there's an election right now, you can put your knee down that the ruling party will lose if it's fair.
Yes, if it's fair. So I think that this coalition, depending on what happens, who see defeat them, forget all the hope. They were failing, and I think if it's fair, this coalition or any other coalition, the strong position. The key point here is how will Nigerians respond to this coalition? What happened to the obedient P2B and other segments? Are they able to put together the Arab Shola and create a wave? It also depends on the electoral system. And finally, it depends also on the voter communication and political behavior. Nigerian voters are oftentimes not intelligent, not responsive to the issues they ought to respond to. So they might pander back to ethnic consideration and might see shift. But this is, in all the dimensions, a powerful coalition, because Nigerian politics are about politics, strong men. who control constituencies or resources or influence or structure, as I say, strong, but may or may not defeat it, depending on what happens to other parts of this coalition.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Azari Yusuf, the former national coordinator of the Middle Belt Patriots. Also, Dr. Sam Amadi is the director of the Abuja School of Political Thought. It's a pleasure.
Here's a thoughtful analysis of the emergence of the All-Democratic Alliance ADA in Nigeria's evolving political landscape. What is ADA? A recent report by a committee led by Rotimi Amechi recommends the establishment of a new party, All-Democratic Alliance, framed as a national renaissance movement deeply rooted in democratic idealism. The founding document, dated May 20th, emphasizes ADA is a people-centered alternative, aimed at unifying opposition groups and restoring public trust, tapping into disillusionment with both the ruling APC and established opposition parties. It likens ADA's philosophy to the strength and renewal symbolized by a tree, underscoring its vision for stable, ethical, merit-based governance. Why now? The strategic moment. After internal disagreements among opposition leaders including Atiku Abubakar, Tambuwal, Aregbesola, and Amechi, the coalition failed on May 30th to choose whether to join existing parties like ADC or SDP, or form a new party. Members of the League of Northern Democrats argued a fresh, unified party would avoid internal control battles and expensive litigations that plague absorptions into existing parties. The push for ADA is positioned as a proactive response to Nigeria's democratic drift, offering credibility and unity ahead of the 2027 elections. Strengths and risks. Strengths: risks. Unified opposition. ADA offers a fresh platform for diverse opposition factions to coalesce. Structural weakness. Building from scratch requires establishing party structure, risking fragmentation and slow mobilization. Public appetite. Widespread disillusionment with APC and old opposition could fuel ADA's rise. Registration deadline. INEC considerations and organizational deadlines before 2027 may strain capacity. Strategic timing. The narrative positions ADA is ethically grounded and renewal-focused. Coalition cohesion. Internal disagreements over ideology and leadership may weaken unity. Broader context. President Tinubu has publicly denied intentions to slide into one party rule amidst growing defections to the APC. For ADA to flourish, it must articulate robust democratic safeguards and institutional credibility. Nigeria's political milieu is shaped by the risks of growing dominance by the APC and fragmentation within current opposition structures. ADA seeks to position itself as a meaningful bulwark, but its success will rely on grassroots penetration, strong leadership, and practical electoral mobilization. Bottom line, a promising yet uncertain bet. ADA embodies a sincere ambition for a principled, Renaissance-style politics in Nigeria. It channels genuine frustrations and a desire for renewal. However, its success remains uncertain, hinging on organizational depth, electoral readiness, and resistance to co-optation. If ADA can operationalize its philosophical ideals and build a genuine coalition, it could reshape the opposition landscape ahead of 2027. But if structural weaknesses persist, history may see yet another attempt fall short of Nigeria's evolving democratic demands.